So we're gonna do the strip series video today, kind of like we did it on my birthday, which is just, I've got to get ready, and so I want to talk to you guys. Like I said, this isn't always gonna be too organized, but we'll roll with it. So today I kind of wanted to talk about long distance relationships, because I've had a bunch of people ask about long distance relationships. I've had a bunch of people that like mine personally, and then I've had a lot of people that they're in one and they asked how I handle it and all that different stuff. So, you know, I figured I'd talk about it. Plus I feel like we need kind of a little break from all the really heavy stuff, so this isn't too bad. So if you're new to my channel and you don't really know my situation, then I guess we'll start with that. I'm in a long distance relationship with my fiance. He lives 5 hours away in Texas and I live in Arkansas. So he was originally 11 hours away, but right before my mom died, he moved closer, which is kind of like a blessing in disguise. But I got too much primer. But so we had it where it was a lot further away, and then now we're kind of a little bit closer, but it's still hard. So we've been dating for about, we hadn't even been dating a year yet when he moved. He moved because he graduated and he went to go take a job down in southern Texas, and then he moved to East Texas, I think. Yeah, I never really know where it is. I know it sounds stupid, but anyway. So he moved there, and it's all for baseball, so it's very, if anyone has a coach for a significant other, they know what I'm talking about here. Plus he's teaching, so he's coaching football, basketball, and baseball, and teaching a journalism class to 6th graders. So this is probably now the most busy he's ever been, and it definitely takes adjusting to. If you ask anyone about being a coach's wife, etc., it's a very lonely life. And I recently saw a video about SEC wives, and that's what they said. They're like, it's a very lonely life, and I completely agree. We've kind of had a hard time lately with working on that and me being able to adjust to it. And I'm not like a clingy person in general, it's just been harder. So he is busy all the time, and I'm here, and we're planning a wedding in the middle of it. And honestly, if I know that Greg's someone I want to marry, like I know that, but if I had known that his schedule would have been so intense, I would have waited until it wasn't so intense, maybe like in the spring when he's doing baseball and that's not as taxing as Texas football. But you know, we're working through it. Like I went there this last weekend, and I probably saw him a total of like 3 or 4 hours the entire time I was there, so it was kind of hard, but we get through it. But anyway, so far with me, I've learned that long distance relationships are hard. I'm not even gonna lie to you, but I find that you have to have a good foundation, and you both have to want the same results. You both have to want to be with each other at the end. Because if there's one person that's not willing to put everything to it, or everything into it, you're going to basically be setting yourself up for failure. And I'm just being completely honest with that, because if Greg and I didn't completely love each other and everything with both of our schedules, I don't know how we would have stayed together. We love each other, we know we want to be with each other, and that's just kind of what has kept us through it. Because you don't really have like the luxury, which I hate using the word luxury for that, but it's the truth. You don't really have the luxury to get in those little petty arguments that you can get mad about for an hour and then come back home and, you know, get over it, because you aren't with each other, and all communication is over FaceTime or phone, and it's just a little bit harder. And you know, I had people when we started doing long distance and we weren't engaged and everything, they were like, so is this like something you really want to deal with? Is this something you really want to do? And I said yeah, and I'm glad I did it, and I'm glad that I stuck through it, because I'm going to get an amazing husband out of it. But it has been hard, and it's probably not one of my favorite things, and I wouldn't wish it on anyone, honestly. It's very hard and it's very lonely, but you know, I keep telling myself that the end result is definitely going to be worth it, and I think it is. I mean, we get frustrated with each other and everything, and we've gotten kind of bad about it lately where we just let things keep going on, but you definitely have to compromise a lot. You have to get through it. You have to work on everything, and that's really what you have to learn to do. A lot of people asked a bunch of things about Greg. Another thing that, I'm sorry, Miller texted me. Another thing that y'all asked me about was like how Greg dealt with everything when my mom died. And honestly, the day after my mom died, I gave him kind of an ultimatum. I was like, look, this is going to be something that is going to be part of my life from now until the day I die. I mean, I was like, there may be days where I'm 40 something years old and I start crying because a random girl and her mom in a Target reminds me of the fact that I'm a mom, and that's what you're going to deal with. Can you handle that? Because if not, we need to end this now. And I know that sounds really like, I know it sounds really harsh, but it's the truth, because when you lose someone like that, your whole dynamic of your life changes. And I'm glad we had that conversation, because then I knew Greg was in it for the long haul, and you know, it's come in handy because, you know, I'm sure there were things that he's had to learn kind of to deal with it, because he's never personally lost anyone to death, and he's kind of had to learn to deal with me dealing with it, and it's kind of helped him prepare for it. Like, he's kind of been like, okay, she's acting this way because she lost her mom and she's sad, you know, and that's not always an excuse, but I'm just saying, like, it explains the reason I am about a bunch of different things, or the reason that I react to a bunch of things the way I do. So that's been really, that's been a big part of our relationship. And you know, the cool thing was my mom knew Greg and Greg knew my mom, and so he kind of knew the dynamic of everything. And I can't imagine dating someone after my mom died. Like, I can't imagine having to go through that and explain it and explain what she was like, because you know, Greg saw it all. But anyway, that's kind of that whole thing. But I know this video is really, really scattered, and it's probably, you'll probably like, Alexa, you're just rambling. But that's why I'm doing this series. It's just so I can talk to you guys about these kinds of things. And you know, I think one of the things also that's helped me through my relationship with Greg and all this, like being long distance, is I have had a relationship that's really, really bad, and I didn't have someone that cared enough about me to do a long distance relationship kind of thing. And the fact that Greg makes every little issue or every little hard time we have that much more worth it, you know? And if you're going to be in a long distance relationship, you have to accept, especially if you have one where the person's working full time, you have to accept that there are going to be holidays that you're not going to spend together, and there are going to be, you know, major moments that they're not going to be able to see, but you have to kind of learn to relay it to them in different ways. Like, I'll text Greg throughout the day anytime something happens, so whenever he gets out of practice, he sees it, and it's not like I'm trying to relay it all at the end of the day. I mean, like, because I don't talk to him, he calls me at like 10:30 during his break. I don't talk to him for the most part from 6 a.m. in the morning until around 8 o'clock at night. No contact whatsoever. So it is really hard, but the end result will be very worth it. If you're in a long distance relationship right now, honestly, what I can say is if you know that person is worth it, you know that person is who you want to be with, yes, it's going to be hard, yes, it's going to suck, yes, you're probably going to hate it with everything in your being, but it's going to be worth it. And you're going to at the end be like, I'm so glad I waited for this person instead of settling for someone who wasn't worth it. And that's how I know that this is all worth it, is I can't imagine my life without Greg. So, you know, I'm really willing to wait for it. I mean, I may get upset about it a lot, but I'm willing to wait for him, you know, regardless. So that's what I have to say about that. I know this video is probably one of my shorter ones and probably isn't as in-depth as my other ones, but, you know, this is a topic you guys want me to talk about. And if you'd like me to talk about it later on in more of a am more in depth with like answering y'all's questions and everything, just let me know, because I know this has been requested a lot, and you know, I want to be able to help you guys. And also, you have to get creative with whoever you're dating. You know, whether it be like a care box, like a different things like that, it really just helps. And the little things are going to make make a huge difference when it comes to a long distance relationship. Like biggest difference. Like even if it's like little love letters. Like I know that sounds weird, but little love letters is, you know, gonna really help, and it's gonna show that they're thinking about you and everything. And I don't know, just little things like that. I find that it really helps, and it really makes you feel a little bit closer. And even stupid things like, you know, like watching shows over FaceTime together and stuff like that. Like Greg and I have done that, and it's so much fun, and it makes a big difference. Like Valentine's Day one year, we couldn't be together, or actually I went to town, but we weren't gonna be together, and so we were gonna get the same dinner and have like FaceTime and watch a show or something like that, and it was gonna be something silly like that, and it was gonna be a lot of fun. And I ended up going to see him. But basically, bottom line, do whatever you can to make it work, get creative, and know that if you really love the person, it's definitely worth it, and you can get through it. Regardless of how hard it gets, you can definitely get through it, and it'll be worth it in the end. So I love y'all so much. I know this was kind of scatterbrained, but I hope you enjoyed it. If you like my strip series, give this video a thumbs up. Make sure you check out my recent videos as well, and leave a comment down below what you want my next stripped series video to be about. I love y'all so much. Y'all's comments make me so happy. I can't even imagine, you know, I didn't even think that this series was going to be as big of a deal to y'all as it is, but I've gotten so many letters to my P.O. box about how much y'all love this and everything, and it's just been really nice and really encouraging, and it's almost made me feel a little bit closer to y'all as well. So I love y'all so much, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.